We're in my kitchen tonight, and I haven't done one of these in my kitchen for a while, and I'm trying to figure out how to get this light where it doesn't blind you and everything works. Okay, so what we are doing tonight is not makeup. I am wearing makeup. I'm a beauty guide with Lime Life by Alcone, and I am wearing my makeup from work today. I did reapply lipstick, and I have on eyeshadow, foundation, powder, course lipstick, eyebrows, full makeup. This is we're at about 12 and a half hours this makeup's been on now, so that's pretty good, over 12 hours. And it will last up to 16. So it's really fantastic. So what I'm doing tonight is I'm gonna make carrot cake. And the reason I'm making carrot cake on a Tuesday is tomorrow at work we're having potluck. And our potluck is kind of like our before Easter dinner. We're having like an all-employee meeting and staff meeting. And then we are having lunch, and everybody's bringing something. So I make carrot cake. And the reason that I make carrot cake is I've made it once there at work. And from then on, they cry if I don't make it. Because everybody loves it, and it is really good. So I have to make it. So I thought you might like to know how to make this too, because it's really easy and it is really good and everybody will love it. I promise you, if you make this carrot cake, people will kiss the ground that you walk on and fall at your feet, because the carrot, it's not because I'm that good, it's because the carrot cake is that good. This carrot cake does not have nuts in it. If you want nuts in it, feel free to add nuts if you want to, but I don't like nuts, so I don't like little crunchy rocks in cake and ice cream and stuff. So but plus I just don't like nuts, so I don't put it in. This one also does not have raisins. I do like raisins in carrot cake, but this carrot cake is really sweet and really does not need, hi, how are you doing? It really does not need raisins, because raisins are really sweet. It doesn't need the extra sweetness. If you really love raisins, you want to put raisins in it. You can put a few. I wouldn't overdo it. It's really going to be sweet, but it really doesn't need it. And raisins also add a lot of moisture to carrot cake or any cake, but this is, because it's made with oil and not butter, it is an insanely moist cake. You do not need moisture from the raisins. Trust me, you don't. So I thought this was a good cake to make for Easter. And in my mind, I'm thinking Easter Bunny likes carrots, so we make a carrot cake. It just seems to go with Easter. So that's why I'm making carrot cake. And also because, like I said, at work, when we have a potluck, they won't let me make anything else, or they whine. And they're sad because they love the carrot cake. It's the only way they get it. But I'm going to share the recipe with you. And if you want to make this carrot cake, you can do it. And I'm going to show you how easy it is. It only has a few easy ingredients. And it's just really simple, and it's the best carrot cake recipe you'll probably ever find. I was really lucky in finding this recipe. I did not make the recipe. I found it. I was so lucky that I found it one day, and I hardly ever ate carrot cake, even though I loved the taste of it, because most people put nuts in it, and I really hate nuts. And to me, it's a lot of fight to fight nuts to get through carrot cake. So one day I was thinking, I really want to make a carrot cake, and I'm going to make it without nuts. But I thought, well, I don't have a recipe. So I said, okay, Google, we will Google the recipe. So you Google carrot cake, and you get 8,000 recipes or 8 million recipes for carrot cake. And I'm like, oh, okay, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Then I came across one that said it was from Taste of Home. I don't know if you've ever made stuff from Taste of Home. I used to get the magazine Taste of Home. They're all recipes submitted by home cooks from all across the nation. Old, family recipes and recipes that they're all really good. So when I saw there was a carrot cake from Taste of Home, I'm like, oh, that one's going to be good. It's going to be good. And guess what? Oh, is it good? So I'm going to show you how to make this if you would like to make a carrot cake yourself. Again, very simple. Just a few little things make it easier than it would be, because you say, oh, I don't want to grate carrots. Holy cow, is that a lot of work? It is. Now, I have seen some recipes that use baby food in place of carrots, and you can do that, particularly if the recipe calls for it. Although you lose texture. It'll still taste okay, but it's a little gummier, and it's not as good. You really want the carrots, but I have a trick for grating carrots that take about 20 seconds. It's called a food processor. And so I use the carrots that are little baby carrots that are already peeled. It's almost no effort to grate the carrots. So it's so simple to make. So I'm going to flip this around, and I am going to show you my recipe for carrot cake, and I hope you enjoy it. Now, I am actually making 2. Because we have about 70 some people at work. And if I make one cake, 70 people cannot have a piece. And that means half of them are upset and coming to my office going, I didn't get a piece, I didn't get a piece. So, and I would cut it in the tiniest little pieces and still only get about 32 pieces out of it, just little tiny pieces. So I finally broke down and said, okay, I'm gonna have to make 2. So I now make 2. And still, they almost lick the plate clean. And still, they almost don't all get it. But I'm sorry, I'm not making 3. I'm not making 3. Some of y'all at work need to make another one if you want this carrot cake. So I am now I'm going to double the recipe that I'm making, but I'm going to tell you it's just half of what I'm putting in would be for 1 cake. Now I make this in a 2-layer cake. You don't have to make it that way, but it's real pretty. You can make a sheet cake with it if you want and just ice it. Although I will tell you, I don't know the time to cook that. I only know the one for this recipe, and it's a double layer cake, and it's also a 9-inch pan. Which I have over, I'll show it to you in a little while, which is bigger. It's bigger than an 8-inch. You know, the standard cake pan's an 8-inch pan. 9 inches a little bigger. Hi, I'm making carrot cake. If you want the bigger 9-inch pans, you need to get the ones either made by Wilton or the ones that are similar to Wilton. And you can usually find them. Oh, you tasted my carrot cake. That's right, you have. I think I made it for some of our get-togethers. Yeah, I started making it for work. And now they won't let me make anything else for potluck. I have to make the carrot cake. So I'm going to make it. And if you want the recipe, you may have it. And the cake pans you can get them at Walmart. You can get them at, I think like at Michael's, you know, places where they have cake decorating supplies. You can get the little bit bigger of a cake pan. Here, I'll show you one. There's 2 things about this cake pan. First, it's bigger around. You can make it with the smaller ones. It's just going to be real high. But, and maybe take a little longer to bake. But this is a 9-inch pan, not an 8-inch. But the best thing about these is they're straight edged. They don't go in like this. So your cake, this is like a professional cake baker's pan. But like I said, you can just get this at Walmart or Michael's or something. You probably find it on Amazon or something too. So, oh look, now you commented to me and then it tells me you're watching. Like I think I know now. Silly Facebook. Okay, so I have 2 of these pans. And I love the straight edge ones. And those are just aluminum pans. So I'm going to flip this around and show you my mixer. If I can remember how to do it. Oh my goodness, I haven't done this in a while. Here we go. There it is. I'm going to have to move the comments for a minute so I can get it aimed right. Okay, there's my mixer. This is actually bigger than the standard one too. Because I do this a lot. I'm doubling. I double recipes because I feed a lot of people and they all want it, and so it's easier to make 2 at once. Although I only have 2 of those pans, so I'm gonna put half of it in and bake it, then take that out and put the other half in and bake it, because it really doesn't take very long. So I'm gonna start out with my recipe here, and it calls for 4 eggs. The recipe is 4 eggs, but I'm doubling, so I'm gonna put twice that many in. And look at this neat little egg thing. Look at this. I just got this at Walmart too. It's a little ceramic holder. I think it's so neat. Okay, so I'm gonna put that in. I'm going to get something, though. I'll just use paper towel. Somewhere to just put these shells down real fast. And I usually put it in a little cup. Make sure the egg's okay. Come on, egg. Break it in a little bowl. There we have our little egg. 1. 2. 3. This is the real exciting part. 4. Okay, 4. That's what you do. 4 eggs for 1 cake. But I'm doing 2, so of course I'm doing 8 eggs. Come on, egg. This egg does not want to break. How tough was this chicken? Okay. All right, 4 more. So after the eggs, we're going to put in 2 cups of sugar, which of course I'm going to put twice that much. That's the next ingredient. That's number 6. I only got out at 8 eggs. Oh! And you took a somersault. Was that fun? Roller coaster. I bumped the stupid thing I have this sitting on. Let's move it over a little bit more. Or I might be baking my phone. Okay. But oh, nope. This egg looks funny. Nope, we're not using that egg. That is why, I don't know if I've hardly ever gotten a bad egg. But that egg looked pink inside. That was not good. Whew, that might have been cracked or something. I didn't know it. But luckily I have more. That was weird. So let's try another one. This is now number 7. Alright, number 7. Yeah, that egg even smelled funny. That was not a good egg. Oops, glad I dumped that out. Alright. Let me get another egg here out of the refrigerator. I had all of those out, but one was a no-go. Oh, I kind of made a mess too. Clean some of that up. Yeah, that egg did not smell good. That had to have been cracked. Well, I don't think it's that though. I think it's just that egg. Okay, let's try number 8 here. Alright, there we go. These eggs were not that old either. I don't know what the deal with that was. Have you ever opened an egg and got a bad egg? You know, honestly, I don't know that I ever have. I've just always heard you should crack them in a little bowl. Yep, they're fine. Okay, it was just that one. I'm just going to clean up because I spilled some of it on the counter. Ook. Okay. There are our good eggs. Really bad. I'm gonna throw these away. Where are my shells? Okay, so then we have our eggs, our good eggs. Yep, our 8 good eggs. I'm glad I didn't dump that and not realize it. Here we go. We're gonna mix the eggs. So then we're going to need the regular recipes, 2 cups of sugar, which I am doubling because I'm doubling the cake. So I have, oops, this is lumpy sugar. It's because we have humid air here in Florida, so we get lumpy sugar. There's 1, 2, so that would be the regular recipe, 2 cups. So then I'm going to do that again. I love this big mixer because I can double recipes. Okay, there's the eggs and the sugar. Now it calls for 1.5 cups of vegetable oil. I usually use canola oil, which is what I have. And then I have this neat little, this is Pioneer Woman, this little thing. Can you see that? Yep. That's Pioneer Woman. I got that from Walmart. I love her stuff. Okay, so there's that. I got more. So this is canola oil. But you can use whatever oil you like to use. You just want vegetable oil. When it says vegetable oil, I always use canola oil. So 1.5 cups of oil, which of course I'm doubling for my double recipe. This has got a lot of oil in it, but that is why it is so moist. So I'm going to pour that in, and I'm going to make a mess. Oh boy, it's real soupy. It's sloshing. All right, stop sloshing. I think it's going to slosh. Oh dear, oh dear. Okay. Let's get a spoon. I think I should have put the oil in before the eggs or something, and it wouldn't be so, the oil was sitting on top and sloshing out. Just got this one spot. There we go. Once we get it mixed, it's going to stop doing that. kind of getting me an oily mess going on here. All over the place. Look at there. Definitely put your oil in with the sugar before your eggs, I'd say, if you're doing a double recipe. Okay, there we go. Now we have all our wet stuff in there. Now we're going to do 2 cups of flour, which of course I will do double that. I never sift flour. I'll show you what I do. They say you really only need to sift flour because it packs down and gets too heavy. So really all you need to do is lighten it up. So here's my, let's see, there's my flour. So what I do is I take a whisk and just kind of stir the flour. Here, I'm going to do it where you can see it. That will lighten your flour up just like you sifted it. I saw this on a cooking show. And I thought, oh yeah, no more sifting. Stir. Stir with a whisk. Then I'm going to, then it's light. I'm going to get 1 cup, 1, 2. Now this is all you would need for 1 cake, 2 cups. But I'm making 2 cakes, so I'm going to double. I'm trying to think if I have ever done 2 cakes in this one bowl before, or if I made the 2 separately. That just takes a lot longer, so I'm not going to do that. This is probably going to make a mess too. Okay, so then when I get that in there, I'm going to add the rest of the dry. So this calls for 2 to 3 teaspoons of cinnamon. I always use 3 teaspoons. So 3 teaspoons of cinnamon is 3 teaspoons is a tablespoon. So really what it is, it's a tablespoon of cinnamon, but I'm doubling. So this is a 2 tablespoon little cups, also known as 1/8 of a cup. So I'm just going to pour my cinnamon into this little. So you need 1 tablespoon of cinnamon for 1 recipe, and I doubled it. Then we need a teaspoon of baking powder, which I will double. I always like to use this one that says it's aluminum free. I don't want to be eating no aluminum. I think they say that can affect the taste or something. I don't think aluminum's good for you. Okay, 2 teaspoons since I'm doubling. Otherwise it's 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Then we're going to also put in the same amount of baking soda, which I did not get out, but it's right over here. So that's a teaspoon of baking soda if you're making 1. And I'm going to double that. Okay, so then I am going to put in a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, which I'm also going to double. And I somehow have run out of table salt. So I'm going to use, I've got kosher salt, sea salt, all that stuff. So this is kosher salt. Doesn't matter. So we're going to put that in. Here, there we go. So you would put in a 1/4 teaspoon, but I'm doubling of salt. And then also a 1/4 teaspoon that I will double of nutmeg. And my nutmeg's right over here somewhere. I didn't get that down, but I know. Oh, there it is. I know it's right here. My little spice rack. You finished your cheesecakes an hour ago, Paula. Okay. Nice, nice. I'm not finished, as you can see. And since I had to do all this work, I figured I'd go on live and let other people watch me work. Okay, there's the nutmeg. I might as well make it more fun to pretend I have my own cooking show, right? Alright, so there's that. Now that's all the dry ingredients. Now that is everything now but the carrots. So now I'm just going to barely start this with this flour to try to keep it in the bowl. You won't have this problem if you make 1 cake. But I'm adventurous. Actually, I don't want to take more time. It's faster. Messy, but faster. Alright, come on, baby. There, we got it. I love these mixers. Now look at that batter. See how it's kind of runny? That's the oil. See, watch it. It'll go right back. Okay, now I'm going to show you the trick for... Oh, I still got oil in this bowl, in this measuring cup a little bit. And since I sloshed some of it, I'm going to go ahead and put it in here. And just let it drip in. I don't think that's even on camera, but that's okay. Trust me, I poured some oil in there. Let's stir it just a little bit more. You can see how I'm sort of at capacity with this mixer for 2 cakes. Okay, so now I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here. Let me move my flour and my sugar out of the way. Ooh, I got oil all over the place. Okay. And then I'm going to show you over here. Let's see if I can just turn it. Okay, you see what I have right there? That is my food processor. And my carrots. It's not fancy. It's just, this is not even this is just Hamilton Beach one. It's not a fancy one. Okay, I just want to make sure you can see. Okay, so then I bought carrots. Now normally you need a bag half this size. You would use 1 pound for 1 cake. So this is 2 pounds for 2 cakes. They're the, you know what these are, the baby carrots, already peeled, already washed, already everything. And then I open up my little funnel here and dump them in. And this is noisy too, of course. This only takes a few seconds to do this, though. It takes more time to put them in than it does to turn it on. Okay, put them in this little tube. Make sure you have your grating blade on before you start this. Last time I made a carrot cake, I had it upside down. And instead of grating the carrots, I sliced them. Yeah, that was fun. And I didn't know it till I was done. And I looked at it and went, oh, what's wrong with these carrots? Oh, no, I sliced them. Well, then I had to run them through again and slice carrots. That was fun. Okay, here we go. There we go. Instant grated carrots. Don't grate them by hand. Oh my goodness, no. Okay, so the thing about this is it's not perfect. And I have all these big pieces up here that if you have a better grater than this, it probably won't do this. But I just take them out. They make them little snacks. Eat these little, they're like little carrot planks. So you can just snack on those. Then I lift out this blade. That's because this is not a KitchenAid. If this was a KitchenAid, probably wouldn't do that. But I've had this one a long time and I've never replaced it because it's not broken yet. It's not broken. I'm keeping it. It is starting, this little part right here is starting to crumble on me though. And it will still have a few of them in here also. I pull them out. Then I take these and I have to kind of go through it because it lets big pieces through. There we have, look, nice grated carrots. Oh yeah. Then I'm just going to put that in there. This is where a lot of the moisture of this cake comes from. Not only the carrots. I'm trying to make sure you can see. Not only the carrots, but the oil. So this is like the moistest cake you've ever eaten. Some of you that have had it know that already. And I just put them in there. And I'm only doing it little bits like this because I know once in a while I find a big chunk that's got in here. And I have discovered, too, that even if you accidentally bake it in the cake, it doesn't hurt nothing. It just looks funny. It's like, well, there's a big old hunk of carrot in here. It's, oh, you got the price. Okay. Doesn't hurt anything. See, like, see? Yeah, he snuck in. Ah, that's not grated. So, Get a good grater and it'll do a better job than this. But this is okay. Like I say, it's what I have. I learned to make it work. It's usually when I get to the bottom, I start finding those pieces. Look, I'm filling this thing up to the tippy top. But we're almost done with our ingredients here. Once we get done, won't have to put any more in this bowl. Okay, that's good. I feel like I'm making carrot salad with that. You know, this, you could use this to make carrot salad, I suppose. Grate the carrots with this too. Okay, I'm at the end of the line. There we go. Put them in there. Okay. Nice thing about it is too, is it's pretty easy to clean. Just rinse it out. So it doesn't really get it real dirty. Okay, now let's see how successful we can be with this. Like stirring a volcano. Come on, stay in there, baby. Come on. Missing some over here. There we get it. Okay, I'm really pushing it with the capacity on this cake, but that's okay. Okay, I'd say there we go. And you see, also, it is still real super runny. Can't see that well. Oh, yeah, you can see it. Okay, I just have to move the comments so I can see it. Now, we are done with our batter. See how simple that was? Not hard at all. All right, now we're going to do the cake pans. I'm going to show you how I do the cake pans. Because I do a special thing with the cake pans. This is what I do with all cake pans. So let me turn this back around. Here's my cake pans, 9-inch pans. Make sure you can see. 9-inch pans. I suppose you can use 8 to just gonna cook different, and I don't know the difference, so I don't know what time to tell you to cook those, so you're gonna have to guess. That's why I do what the recipe says, 9-inch. Okay, here's my 2 pans. Then you get you some of this. Now you can get this on a roll. This is wax paper. You can use parchment paper. I love these. They come like in the sheet. But you can get, like I said, the wax paper on the roll. I do this every time I make a cake because I am over the cake sticking to the pan. And that, I just don't, I'm not doing that. This will keep that from happening. So, fold it again. So you get you a little, kind of a little square, and then this is the point where all of those meet. Make sure you see what I'm doing. There you go. Then I'm just going to fold it and keep folding it like this, and I'm going to keep this point is where I'm going to keep that point and keep folding the rest. Okay, that's good enough right there. So I get this. Then I'm going to take this point. Somewhere I have scissors. Here they are. So what you do is you take the middle of your pan and you put your little point in the middle of your pan. There you go. And then I'm going to cut this right here. Got to hold it. Put my point in the middle of the pan. What I'm doing is I'm lining this pan. Okay, there you go. That's what you need right there. Now watch. It's like making a snowflake without the holes. Yep, that's all I want. Okay, let's do it again. One more. That's why I like these sheets. They're kind of the right size. Fold it. Fold it. It's got a piece of carrot on it. It's not going to hurt nothing. Fold it again. Take the point where they all meet and just keep folding it over a couple more times. Then you've got your what looks like a little airplane. That's what it is. It's like a little airplane. And then you hold it to the middle of your pan. Get your scissors, cut it at the edge. Kind of just inside the edge. There we have another pan lining. Now I used to take a pencil and draw it and everything, but you know, this is, I saw this on TV one day and went, oh, that's a lot faster. Okay, so then here's what I do. I take some cooking spray. Spray the pan. That will now make this stick. No sticking cake. ever. Then you spray that again. There we go. No messy flour. No sticking cake. Put it in, pat it down. It'll hold. I think every cake I make, just about every cake I make, I do this. It will never, ever stick. Okay, and then you just, when you take the cake, I'm dropping, got oil on my hands. When you take the cake out, you just peel that off. Turn it over, peel it right off. Okay, so now what I do, I've got enough for 4 pans, but I got 2 pans. So I'm going to take this down. I'll throw some of this away because it's in my way. I've got my oven on. I'm going to take my batter right here. Just make sure you can still see what I'm doing. Yeah. I'm going to stir it a little bit. Make sure I got it good. Now, the whole thing is I got to figure out half and half. So I'm just going to use a spoon and scoop it. Now, for the icing for this, all the icing is for 1 cake, 1 block of cream cheese, 1 stick of unsalted butter. I think it has vanilla. Where's that? Yep, 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And 1 box of powdered sugar. And a box of powdered sugar is 3 3/4 cups. So, of course, I will double that for the cakes. So, the icing, real easy. 1 8-ounce block of cream cheese. 1 stick of unsalted butter. 2 teaspoons of vanilla. 1 box of powdered sugar, or 3 3/4 cups. All right, I'm going to get that out of the way. Okay, now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this nifty little bowl. And I'm going to save the batter in here for the other cakes, so I have it even. So there's 1. I have an ice cream scoop I do this with, and I don't know where on earth that thing is. I had lost it a while back, and I don't know where it's at. So that's 2. So then this is going to be, I'm going to do 2 scoops in this little bowl to save for the next 2 cakes. So it will be the right amount. Okay, so we have 1. Can you see what I'm doing? Yeah, I think so, kind of. Let's see if we can move it closer. That was 1, 2. It's a real runny batter. Supposed to be 3 and 4 in the bowl. Perfectly fine. Matter of fact, it's supposed to be, but that's because of the oil. Oil cakes are runny. 1. Next pan, 2. Then for the next cakes I'm going to bake, 3 and 4. No, you don't have to sit here and wait till I bake the next ones either. I'm just going to put it in the oven and we're going to be done. Now the oven, now let me leave off so I know where I'm at. 2, 3, we're almost empty here. And 4. Okay, so the oven will go on, make sure I did it right, 350 for 35 to 40 minutes. And it just needs to be done, of course, test it with a toothpick or some kind of long thing. If it's, you can tell real easily if these aren't done because they're still runny in the middle. Because if you shake the pan and it jiggles in the middle, yeah, not done. Not done. It's almost like pumpkin pie. You can tell by jiggling it if it's not done. Okay, that was 3 and 4. And then we're getting low here, so I'm doing half scoops. 1, 2, 3. The bottom of the pan here. And 4. Okay. Then I'm also going to scrape out the pan. First I'm scraping out this scoop. Let's see, where is my, here it is, spatula. It has oil on it. I made such a mess. At least my mess is, it's a small contained area of mess. It's not that bad. Okay, here we go. Go 1, 2. That really wasn't completely 2. There we go. Uh-oh, stuff in my cabinet's falling of its own accord and making noise. Okay. Then we have got that pretty well cleaned out. And I've got my cream cheese and my butter softening over here for when these cakes are done. So what I do, I'll come back on and ice them if you want me to. But I will take these cakes and let them cool. And then I usually stick them in the freezer so they get cool faster. And then what I do is I ice the bottom layer completely. Just the bottom layer, sides and center. Then I put it in the freezer until that icing firms up. If you don't do that, when you put the top layer on, all the middle icing will squish out the edges. So you've got to ice the bottom layer, then put it in the freezer or refrigerator. It just has to stay in there longer if it's the refrigerator. You've got to get the icing to firm up before you put the top layer on. That is critical, or you will not be happy because it will ooze. So then these, because this is a liquidy batter, it's got a lot of air bubbles in it. So I'm going to bang it on the counter because that's going to pop the bubbles. And it keeps the batter from raising too much and having a bunch of air pockets in it. I don't know if you can even see the bubble. Yeah, you can see the bubbles in there. Okay, we go again. You see, it pops. It pops all the bubbles. Sounds like you're really mad, but you're not. Just getting rid of the bubbles. Okay, then I'm going to put it right here in this really hot oven. 350 degrees, 35-40 minutes, like I said. And we are done, and this will make your house smell so good. Now let's flip it around. There we go. Oh, yeah. Your house will smell divine. And then you will want to eat it. But nope, I can't eat it because it's for work tomorrow. And so we are done with this portion. Like I said, we will come back later, a little bit later, after it has to cool. If you have to wait for it to cool, you know, the icing's just going to run all over the floor. So my mother made a cake one time, chocolate cake. I remember when I was a teenager and she was in a hurry. I think company was coming and she wanted to make this chocolate cake, and it was a double layer, and she iced it, and it was still a little warm, but she iced it and she put it on the table near the edge of the table. And it wasn't too bad. She said, it'll be okay. And we watched TV or something. We came back and one layer of the cake was on the floor and it slid right on the floor. It was hilarious. And we teased her about it forever. And she came out, don't make fun of me. But like, Mom, it was funny. We went in there and say, where'd half the cake go? Where'd it go? It was on the floor behind the table. It was really funny. So yeah, you gotta wait till it cools. Okay, until later, when we ice our cakes. And then I will talk to you again soon, and I hope to see you soon, and have a good evening. Until later. Bye.